Hey, everyone. I'm Tassenix, and welcome to Plotting and Scheming, the Grand Arena focused podcast centered around the top 100 of Kyber 1 for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I am joined by most of the regular cast. Dagger is tagging just a couple minutes behind and will join us. But I do have TJ, Sasha, Aisha, and Fatal here with me. Gentlemen, this is the in between week. Hopefully, you're enjoying the off time. A lot to do, I suppose, with Conquest and TB Live, but yeah. Um, you know, what's up with you, TJ? How you been?
That's been good, man. It's actually been nice and quiet.
Mhm.
I calm before the storm and not really having to do anything. And thank God they brought that energy pack back for Conquest. So I was
Mm.
stage 4 at the point, like hours in, and then took all of the energy. And then also they brought back the fatal calendar. I call it that because I didn't even thought about it until then. And so I just have to look at the red dot in anguish. But I'm
Mm.
ready for next season as what the next Datacron set as well. Is I'm prepared. So
Okay,
other than that, it's good, man. It's nice and quiet.
I see it. All right. Sasha, Aisha, how you doing? What's going on with you this week?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I am very much IRL. I am like less focused on the game, but just taking care of you know uh, reality stuff. But um, I was very excited to see those packs come out for like 20 droid brains.
Yeah.
'Cause for me, so much of the focus on progression is learn what to R9, and like even more so with the impending arrival of Relic Delta. And yeah, I'm excited actually for us to do this in between show a little earlier because historically we've done it sort of like right at the beginning of the new week, or we've done it at least a few times like that. And I think it'll be good for me to sort of wake up a little bit, look a little bit ahead. And I don't know, I always get smarter out of talking about the game with you guys. I'm sure I get dumber in other ways, but the game it's helpful. So yeah.
Yep. Right on, man. Fatal, how's it going? What are you up to here in the off week?
Uh, yeah, I've been spending a lot of time on the video making side of things more than anything. I'm like horribly behind on Conquest for the energy opportunity that we have right now. Although I'm not going to use that calendar for this season anyway. That seems very much like a next season type affair. Um, yeah, no, I'm sure I'll talk about it at the end, but I'm doing videos, hopefully pretty
Yeah.
consistently.
And I saw they're mostly the ones that I saw, it's just raid videos, right?
They're not all going to be raid videos. It
No,
was
just
just
this first set that
that.
I saw you release were raid videos, right? I didn't miss anything else. This first set were all about the raid.
Yeah,
Okay,
I have
okay.
not put out the big one that I was working on.
No. I know. And you said last time that wasn't what you were. You told us not to expect specifically. But yeah, no.
These are the YouTube as a sustainable income source videos, not the overindulgent waste of time. But
Fair.
no, I don't know, man. I found a way to auto the Order 66 raid, and I was like pretty out of tune with the raids. I was like, do people know that? Like, am I extremely late to this, or did I just find something? And I did some cursory looking around in servers, and I was like, don't I think I'm the first to find this, maybe. So yeah, I just put them all out. Yeah, pretty much every team can auto for 3.6 mil.
Nice. All right. Be sure to check that out, guys. Fatal plug for his stuff later on. But yeah, should be good. And I see Dagger did just sneak in through the side door. Kick off your boots, hang up your coat. How you doing, Dagger? Hey, what you up to in the
I'll
off
be
week?
I'll be doing that shortly when I get home. But until then, really just been streaming Baldur's Gate 3.
Mhm.
Uh, this game isn't all that much fun to stream when there's nothing to stream.
Yeah,
So
well, I did a four and a
what?
half hour stream today, just jaw jacking while I did stuff. So it's
Yeah,
about
that's fair.
willpower.
Yeah, but you also just play TV
True,
like the
that's
rest of
I
us are in guilds that don't do that.
Streaming Conquest is the absolute worst because you can't
Yeah,
just eyes glaze over, pull something up. like lean back. Like you have to be semi-present, and that's like you're
Yeah.
literally forcing yourself to be present for a conquest, which is like not the point of playing conquest.
Yeah, so I've just been playing non-slugger games during the off week, kind of detoxing from the game, as it were.
Fair.
Hopefully, that means I come back to 5v5 with a renewed vigor and excitement for the game. Who are we kidding? It's 5v5. That's not happening.
We'll see.
But yeah, been a good off week so far. Well, we're recording this before the end of the off week, but so far this off week's been good. Tomorrow's Halloween, so yay!
What are you dressed up as, Carl, with the kids?
How PG am I allowed to have this?
I mean, I'm asking you honestly. If you're taking the kids out, you have little kids for Halloween.
I am not.
Huh?
I am not.
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
doing that.
Carry on. Oh,
There's
well,
going to be
then
some
never mind.
euphemism of what I'm doing to their mom.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, folded laundry.
Sure.
It's the folded laundry scenario.
Yeah. I will be doing laundry and dishes.
There you go.
That's,
With
I'll
the
be
te-
loading
with
the
the-
dishwasher. There we go.
That's right. With the
Mhm.
text that says "thank you," all set.
No. My plans for tomorrow are go to my dad's house and hang out with him and watch something watch some like the NBA or something on TV and turn off the porch light so kids don't ring the doorbell.
That's the spirit of the season.
That's right.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into the show, guys. First segment, as always, preparations going into week one. Mods, new mods that you were focusing on, remods for certain characters, new relics applied, with specific intent. I recently, just with the Droid Brain packs today, it's kind of just been sitting way back there on the back shelf to Relic 9 the entire Finn Zori team. I've had Finn Relic 9 a long time. So I did Resistance Hero Finn and Zori with those droid brains. Now it's just Poe and Rose remaining. So, eventually. Got Forlom set up. Just a reasonable speed tenacity set. It's decent and will be probably changed when I figure out why I need to change it. Aside from that, just still looking at more defense mods that I'm farming. Thinking about the characters that I want to fill them in on. So that's about it. Datacron wise, I need to farm up.
That's the next segment.
Yeah. That's true. Good call.
Sorry, I get to do it to you for once.
Hey,
Because
look
I
at
always
you.
fuck that up.
Look at you. Yeah. Is there really anything else? I feel like I've done more this week, but maybe not. Oh well. All right. Well, Dagger, back over to you then. Have you done anything preparing here? Going into 5 vs 5?
I don't know about preparing, but I put relics on Forlom. Yeah, still this week I just was farming slicing materials because I have about 300 mods to slice. I did apply probably around 350 to 400 attenuators this week because of those
Nice.
packs that came in the store, the ones for
Yeah.
crystals.
Yeah.
So I did apply somewhere around like 350 to 400, or 300 to 350 probably is closer. But I applied that to who did I work on? Wow, it's escaping me at the moment because I'm currently driving. Anyways, I was working on stuff. I was working on offense percent specifically. Just trying to Malicos. I got Malicos up to like 12.8 or 12.9.
Nice. Good stuff. He was somebody that I completed the remod on just towards the end. I got him at 96,000 health, so a little under the 100,000 that he used to be. 264 speed, crit damage triangle, 13,028 damage. I'm ready.
Yeah, I took this as an opportunity to do some 75s.
Yeah, good. Yeah. I mean, he likely do have some odds on that are worth that. So
Yeah, and I think I told you I did take the first time I've done it, I took a mod and paid the 150. It will
That's what I was
surprise
going to
no
ask. What's the
one.
highest you go? 150,
Yeah,
huh?
that will surprise no one to know that the mod bricked.
Ugh.
Aw.
Actually, recently, I did do a 150. I want to say it's maybe the second one I've done, and I actually have gotten might be the first. But where is Maz? There
Yeah.
she is.
So the mod I tried was 24
That's it.
speed on 4 rolls and 5.8% offense on 4 rolls.
Wow. Yeah.
Oof,
That's a
beautiful.
good one. Yeah, that's a great
And
mod.
and fun fact, those were the numbers with 0 attenuates.
Dang.
Oh, that's brutal.
You still couldn't get it right.
Bricked all 6 times.
You wouldn't even wish it on your worst enemy. Not the
Hey.
150.
Hey, that's really
Yeah.
hateful. I would be so mad. I would be so mad. Yeah, so this was a
Yeah.
21, and that last slice was sitting on flat offense. So I rolled it away, hit a 4, and this is the best speed mod that I have in terms of a defense secondary for a square.
I will say that I had really good luck over the last week with attenuates in the sense that I rolled the same stat frequently,
Hmm.
but most of the time it was a better number than it currently was.
Okay.
So I think I probably kept around 90% of my attenuates.
Okay. All right. TJ, how about you? What are you working on?
I'm keeping consistent. We talked about it at 3s, and I'm still going with it. I'd like to lock in. I still think it's going to work. So the Bad Batch, I still think it's there. It was super money, even when you didn't have the stuff. I don't see what's going to change. So just making
Bad
sure
batch
your
for
OG
what?
is
Bad batch for what?
Pirate King for the Pirates, man. What you did at the end of 5s, I expect to
Oh.
happen. So we you brought it up too, and what was funny is I haven't heard you talk about it, but yeah, my OG Omega, I'm locking her down, man. She's going to be ready to rock. I don't do my mod checks and all that until usually the weekend. So that's kind of like where I sit down and do my homework, what I'm changing. But yeah, she's at R8. I'll have her locked down with the rest of the team ready to go. And then it's just kind of piecing everything together. I did 4 long just because obviously ROI. The $20 pack is worth it for the R9s, but getting them up, getting one more character.
Do you want to refresh people's memory about the core of what you're looking for to set up in that new Bad Batch team to be able to fight Hondo?
I mean, it's
He does not.
He does not.
Yeah.
Fair. Very fair.
Sorry.
Eh.
No, I'm kidding. Go ahead, TJ. I'm just being poking fun of your
No.
tech.
I'm good with it, man. Because like I said, the whole spec of with the Rolocron, it basically dumps the team, and it
Yeah.
was
Okay,
stupid
so it's
easy.
more about the Kron than any particular
It's
specialized
the
mod.
crime, but
It's-
you still want to have
the relics.
great stuff. Yeah, and that's where it's like
Yeah.
I came in with an R5 Omega and was very sad. I was a sad panda, and now I have an R8 and I feel much better. I'm
Okay.
gonna brick her up to make sure that her shit pops. Again, I've seen what Fatal can do, and it's not rocket science with the concept. Just there's certain things you don't do, but the fight overall feels very consistent and easy, and I don't see what's gonna change that once you go into it in 5s. So I think that's the biggest one. And then locking in my Maz. Also, I already took Quiggle to 9. I love that guy. That little dude is my like one of my favorite takes. He's so good, man. He's just like you don't expect it. So
quick question for the room. How are we liking his mods these days? Is it just full defense, all protection? Is it still some type of role for tenacity?
I still want more specs than just that. I don't give a shit about the speed. But I'm looking for more. Go ahead. You're good, Dagger. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say really simply. I still have mine relatively slow. God, Freudian slip here in Minnesota. No, I have mine relatively slow still, full tenacity build. I think I'm gonna keep that until the Crons are just carrying the team enough to where I don't see a reason to change it.
I just I just want to make sure basically that the couple proper people are really locked in. I think they might be one of my next R9 like target teams just because of the overall perspective. They feel like a very complete team, just like Bad Batch does or something else. Because I want to make sure my Thano's ready to go because he slaps just the ever loving shit out of everybody. Quiggled, also another great damage dealer. Kix is got a lot of survivability, and then just I love Maz. I think Maz is so much fun to use, and then that cooldown, set it up and just lock your team in, and they just eat you up from the inside out. So that's been my kind of love project of making sure my Omega is good, and then making sure my Maz team is just ready to roll.
Mm-hmm. All right, dig that. Sasha, what's been cooking for you this week in terms of mods, relics? What have you been working on character wise?
Yeah, not much on mods, but I had I kind of just slightly referenced it before, but just keeping an eye out on what my next R9s will be. I did add Forlom. I may rush Zuckiss as well based on sort of timing of events, just out of like him similar to like what we have with like the Night Trooper and DTP. If they've got that regular event that's generating droid brains, it's like it's worth the droid brain investment early on. Inevitably, it's going to go there. So that taking up Forlom, not so much for like specific use, but more like I said for kind of like return on investment. And then I had been looking at R9s like kind of through two different lenses. Like everything in the game as it's been playing lately on ground, I didn't feel like I needed much. It was really far out on the margins with R9. But when with Relic Delta coming, I started to think a little bit more about like, are there tanks I'm going to be using that I would really like to make sure they're at R9? I mean, granted, R9 is a nice boost for tanks and long has been, but like this would sort of really
You're
be
saying
like the
like
nail on
OG
the
record type stuff.
yeah, that's an example. Old Ben. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know that maybe Old Ben is one, but yeah, exactly, Dagger. And then on the flip side of those interactions are like the attackers that I'd really like to be able to rely on. That with the R8 to R9 stat change, most of the time hasn't been as key to take them up. But so like looking at some of those, and then so that's the Relic Delta lens, and then also a bit of a fleet lens because it's just the fleets have changed enough that I actually you'll never hear me say I enjoy it, but I dislike it less. And for me, that's a big personal statement. So I was looking at like, for example, taking OG Han and Chewie from R8 to R9. Was considering stuff for like just the home one fleet, like I don't know, like Kyle Katarn or something like that. I haven't done those yet. Um, but these are all ones that, as I've sort of built up a few R9s that I can invest, like just the materials for it, considering it. I'll tell you one other that's a candidate that I'm bouncing around that I don't think will make the cut, but I've been really curious about is IG-12. I just find so often when I'm using BKM, which isn't a ton, except for like with the BKM cron, and now it doesn't have the same calling with Vader, but that IG-12 seems to be a priority target. And like one of my few like fail conditions with VCAM has been like, oh man, they just hard targeted IG-12 twice down, and now I'm without like a key component. So I was thinking R9 maybe for that too. So again, I haven't made those leaps, but those are kind of the things and sort of perspective I've been rolling around in my head.
All right. Appreciate that.
I will say really quick on the IG-12 thing.
Please.
I tried BKM versus Lord Vader, and he ulted right before he killed before he killed IG-12 the first time, and it happened to me twice. And mine's R9. So I hope your R9 performs better than mine.
It's not the fail safe that I was hoping maybe. What were you gonna say, Fatal?
No, I also applied R9 IG-12, and that's just god awful. He's a healer. It's the shit that I was talking about.
Yeah, he's a healer, not a support.
Well, thank you guys. It's the best way to learn from mistakes is when the mistakes are somebody else's. So thank you guys.
I mean, for what it's worth,
you're welcome. I think.
For what it's worth, it helped me because I had greater discretion to bulk him up then and find potency through other means. Just have him be like extra large. I know he doesn't gain a ton, but still, like I bulked him up, and I do think that the circumstances that we're all trying to avoid have definitely happened to me less since I did it. That I have still lost him anyway sometimes. Yes, that still does happen, so I can see that.
And that bulking, that's a mod
I will say
bulking,
the
not
the
relic,
huge
right?
sorry the huge benefit to him at R9 is you get to attack about 8 speed and about 10% potency on him.
Yeah.
Because you get the extra survivability.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So there on screen, about 145,000 health, 65,000 prot, 350 speed, 137% potent. So
I think for Lord Vader, I would look more to like putting a prot primary on him because it's the
yeah, for
dots that are
sure.
melting him.
Specifically for Lord Vader, yeah, that makes plenty of sense.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
think
the
that's
way
why a
I've
lot of us
always
have
had it.
similar. Yeah, I'm just saying. I think that's one of the reasons at least a few of us had similar experiences with him in that matchup is because of the health pool being so significant.
Sure. Anyways, on to you, Fatal. What
Sorry.
have you been cooking up for this week? For the upcoming week?
I mean, I haven't started prep yet, but this season is very much just going to be a sequel to last season, so it's mostly just going to be about making sure that the absence of defense crons is going to get shored up via mods for upcoming solo work. Yeah, I mean, I expect that this season should be a pretty high potential one. The anti-cheeser strat is way more effective in 5v5 than 3v3 because it's a lot easier to strip a team down to 3 or 2 man than starting at 3 and stripping down to 2 or 1.
Yeah,
Right,
greater
I mean,
value for a skill, multiple underman.
yeah, so yeah, we'll see how those things go. I do kind of suspect that defense crons do kind of signal a better anti-cheese meta that you could just get away with way worse depending on the matchup. But
And that's something that you've been pretty consistent about is, it's the advantage of having defense mods is perhaps lessened during a time where defense is available from Datacrons because of, diminishing returns, or I think you've said before, maybe there aren't actually diminishing returns, but regardless, I feel like, it's easier to compensate for anybody just getting it off of a Datacron if they're not deliberately trying to cultivate defense mods. So you're saying that you expect it'll be a feast this season because you're going to have
no,
such an edge of defense over your opponent.
no, I'm saying that if I am just looking to blow out with undermans, having a 400% defense cron makes life a heck of a lot easier.
Oh, well, yeah. I can see. I mean, you still
And
got Darth
so-
Vader crown and stuff like that, Darth Vader, Iden.
Yeah.
Not 400% or nothing, but yeah, fair enough.
I mean,
all right.
yeah, right. I mean, to your point, it's like, yes, I could try to short up via mods, but that's what a lot of the season is going to be about is can the mods plus the cron replicate the same results as some of the more extreme stuff? Or more likely, do I just need to give up some ground? Like, maybe a 68 becomes a 67 or whatever. Yeah, it's all just calibrating and seeing. Again, this is the period where it's like, this is the time for zeroing in, finding the lines in the sand, finding like what the average power level for undermans can or should be, independent of Datacron influence. Like, obviously, we should take advantage of the Datacrons when we have them, but it's like fairly straightforward to see, like, okay, well, Wampa won this for Wampacron. We're not gonna assume Wampacron's around type shit. But if it's just like a basic Statcron, well, that's broadly flexible, future applicable.
Yeah, yep, completely agree. All right, guys. Sorry about that. Next item, set 24 Datacron. So, aside from the pirate cron, the main one, you're going to be probably running a dark side bulk level 3, long text level 6. I think we spoke in last week's episode. It was something that people asked, and I'm sure it's a frequently asked question that you guys are still getting individually. Who do you want in your 5-man Pirate King Hondo team? I was telling people that you could make a pretty strong case for wanting to keep it all dark side since we have the benefit of that level 3, just further enhancing the bulk of the entire team. But if you wanted, somebody in my chat earlier today said that all last season in 3v3s, they were successful using Seer Malicos against Pirate King. None of the ones he did, though. had OG Hondo in it. So there's probably still a pretty solid case to stick him in there to maybe threaten your Malicos.
Yeah, you lose like 50 points if you. Malicos loses like 50 points if you put Hondo in there. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so okay. So I mean that's one thing. I know we're all having our plans for that team, but any deviations from what I was saying, like Datacron wise? Are you focusing on big bulk on the stats, or are you thinking about a different stat profile?
You go.
Oh, I was just gonna say, as long as the Hondo level 9 exists, I feel like Hondo is just on the team.
Okay.
Bulk level 3 means you want 4 dark side characters, and to no one's surprise, those are Silvo, Brutus, and Vayne.
Mhm.
So I don't see much deviation from that this season, unless you're trying to trip up something very specific.
Now, what of
But
Quiggle
learn
though?
from.
Because we just saw how punishing Sasha
But
Aisha's
if you
Quiggle
save
was.
no,
This
but if you
last.
save Dre, he's not.
Fair. Okay, fair. I
I
mean, that's point and counterpoint. So fair enough. There are
Yeah,
going to be people
because
that are going to
you won't
ask.
be placing that crew team in 5s. Is what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
it was barely good enough for the board in 3s. If you're into that kind of thing, it's not even in the top like 30 teams in 5s.
the
Well,
Quiggle thing was novel for threes, but it's not a
I mean,
fives thing.
you
I'm
could see
sorry.
some people dropping Vayne for Quiggled, and I know that Quiggled has a couple callouts that are only active if his leader is a non-galactic legend pirate. So I understand there's some cost, but I know some folks would be asking about making that substitution.
Oh
I
And
yes, I'm sure.
Mhm.
I'm sure Quigo can be used. I think he's fine. I think it really just depends on what Maz needs to beat any number of the Sith
I,
teams.
I
And as
still
long as the
think
Crons are available, I'm not sold you can't 3-man that.
and
Mm,
I'm still of the mind that Bad Batch are still going to take it down. And what Quiggle brings to the table is trying to damage your team. I don't see how you're stopping it. I still think Bad Batch with the Rollercron take out the pirate team because you can't do it in threes, obviously, because you need the other mechanic going around. But having all 5 characters there and then the proper setup, I don't see what it's going to stop. So they're gonna lock on your wrecker. Cool, Hondo, go ahead and do that, and
mhm.
you're just going to take out that team.
Yeah, Quick Gold is insanely overhyped. So I do not understand
Okay.
why people like him.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, again, the as Dagger said, if you're going to be making sure that you keep your Dre for use with SLKR, Quiggled is considerably less dangerous. But good, it was a problem. It's a
I
problem to me in Squad Arena, and you saw that it was a problem for me there at the end of 3 vs 3. Again, for want of Dre, but yeah. All
Yeah,
I
right.
I
don't think
just
it'd be for
I
want
don't
of
see it
Dre in
outpacing
5s.
Dre.
Hmm?
Sorry, Sasha.
Sorry. No. I was just agreeing. I mean, Wiggle was a nice twist, but I don't see whatever damage he's contributing into a PK Hondo squad outpacing the regen power of a Dre being there. So
Yeah,
yeah, totally
fair,
agree.
fair. All right, so I mean that was the freebie, of course, talking about that team. So if we're all thinking that it's a generally better default posture to keep Vayne with Pirate King and Quiggled with Maz, are you guys still thinking in general Maz is largely for offense? Or are you gonna still kind of maybe wonder if you sneak it in on defense, and if so, are you doing it having it in the back wall? What do you do? What are you thinking about Maz, our other pirate team?
I will
I,
3-man it
well,
with JML and shake your hand over it.
Okay, okay, respectful. And now that's a little more stress on JML, which maybe opens more room for something like Balin down. I don't know. I don't know how good that would be, but
The problem is right now is that JML doesn't beat meaningful teams that get set at a rate that is higher than other teams.
hmm,
So I feel like if you save JML, you're like 2-manning some or 3-manning some, Mace team, or you're beating Maz, or you're like punching obscenely down
hmm.
with him. Because there are keeper counters in JML that beat like Baitlin and stuff like that. So like I don't know. I'm very down on JML this season.
Hmm. Okay. Other thoughts from you guys on Maz? I mean, I don't think we're having any disagreements about team composition, but as far as application, plan to use her on offense, one size fits all for any Sith on defense.
I think she gets a 50-50. If you personally ask me, because you have the kicks cron still,
Yes.
and having that full metric, right? You had to break things off, and Quiggle was nice in that, but that kicks cron has a lot of utility. I know one thing Dagger talked about before too. Having the Athano assisting everywhere, and then cooldown reduction for your team. I could see the flex around, and even the possibility of do you want to throw in like Smee there?
Yeah, by the
because I know
way,
we're talking about.
quick PSA to all the party people out there listening to this. If you fight a team, a Maz team this season, without something overwhelming, if you're not going to like JML it or something, and it has Athano on the team, and it also has the Kixcron, and it also has OG Hondo on the team, you might think rather, maybe intelligently, that, man, I better get rid of that OG Hondo before he ramps up and becomes a real problem. Whereas you should have thought, I should control that OG Hondo and blow up the Athano twice.
Get rid of that damn Athano. Yeah. Don't let him
kill Athano twice. Fuck not around with the Athano, lest ye be fucked. Please learn from my suffering. Thank you.
Oh, you saw me too. I
Madness,
dropped
yeah.
on yours with Relic 4s because I disregarded wanting to make sure I was going to go for the Hondo, and then I just let Athano literally eat my team from the inside out until there was nothing left.
Yeah.
And so it's just the factor, but that's why I said if we go anywhere else, it is still, in my opinion, considered a new team. And the age-old adage of it's a new team with the new DC, make it their problem, because we don't know what it's going to look like. Now we'll have Omicrons and everything else intact. Team composition can flex. I think the 4 out of the 5 we know we're going to be. And as far as where she goes, I could honestly still think she'd be fine doing a bottom front too, though. You still have to respect her name.
Sure.
Where you go from there is going to be where it's at. But she has so many ways to wreck you, because the Quiggle Cron with that pirate that long text is still no joke. And if you're stacking more dark side on that team, obviously Kicks is there, right? But if you still put those 3 in there, that has merit. And that underpunch is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I also like the strategic ploy about setting her in the back, like
That's fine.
there at the end of 3s, because then if you don't see an obvious JML draw out in front on either zone, no Balin, no Maz, nothing that says, JML here, you might be otherwise inclined to use him in the effort of clearing the bottom front. And then maybe you have a problem when you get back there. I don't know.
I think the
I will
other
say
side.
If you're going to set Maz, please do it, because it means I can set Lord Vader.
That's the other piece I was actually going to go to. So I'm
Everyone
glad you
set
said
Maz
it.
Kanata.
That's the other piece is it's the difficulty on the Lord Vader now, because I don't see what changes. She just aggressively beat the shit out of Vader with almost any variation. As long as you had Athano
I think
or that
Athano,
or
take an attacker, and I still got it done twice.
Yeah, I think Kix Athano can 3-man that team.
Sure.
With the kick run.
It's just, so it's like, I think that's the other question of I'll ask you have to look at is, do you set LV? Do you set Maz? Or do you say, I don't want to deal with it? Because if, again, I'm going to keep saying this, if the idea for the Rolocron is I'm going to go punch on PKH with Bad Batch, that without that Rolocron on the LV, it can still be done. Don't get me wrong. There's still things to do it, I believe. But Maz makes that dumb easy, in my opinion.
Okay. Other crons that you guys are interested in trying out here in this first week on defense, on offense, anything that you're specially preparing. I just wanted to shout out that I have to farm up a couple more light side turn meter to the weakest crons with good stats. I just needed a couple more of those. I'm pretty robust on my UFU and first order and whatever else. You can see that's all going well for pirates and all of that. I just need a couple more of those light sides. Yeah. Other plans you guys have out of set 24?
I want to roll up more crons, but I I'm sitting on like a couple thousand of each material and like 60K data cache. I just haven't done any inventory for anything. I've been like super busy this week.
All right, you'll have some catch up to do
with
then.
other stuff. Yeah, but I've just got the sector. I've just been simming Sector 4, so I just have like I'll get around to it this weekend. It's the only downside to doing this show before the weekend is because I haven't done any of my remod or Datacron work, which I usually do Saturday while I'm at like kids events and stuff.
All right, fair enough. I'm sorry.
I'll add just quickly. The only
Yeah.
thing that, like, and I haven't done this yet, but and I'm gonna be traveling the next couple of days, so I may not get to it. But one of the things I'd like to try and do when you've got potency and tenacity on there is, I went pretty hard going into threes, and so fives we have most of the stuff functionally covered, but I don't have like a fully jacked up tenacity cron, and separately like a really jacked up potency cron.
Good
And I
call.
just find like each season there's like, one, often more than one scenario where it's like, oh God, man, if I just had enough tenacity, that counter would be a shoe in. So, yeah.
Fair. Fatal, anything you had to throw in there about set 24?
It would be nice to shore up on better bulk Datacrons, just to have a core library to draw from.
Yep.
That's kind of where I'm at with it. Is basically I pulled enough to have like a full front row on just bulk, and then I've also made sure because I felt it in threes, those dark side basics. When you do a basic, you get the crit damage up, offense up. I definitely didn't have enough of those. That's another one I've really tried to,
three,
to hammer. Well, especially that, because I think there's a lot of teams that still get the benefit, especially with the raw stats. So it's like I've tried to equally push both of those dark side, because this set feels like it's been what we've been wanting or needing for quite a while as far as the dark side love. So trying to take advantage of that if all possible, because they have gone so much light side that it's scary to think that we might go right back into it again. And so if this is gonna be the season of the dark side, I want to make sure I respect it.
Fair. All right. Next item. I wanted to reserve a little time for us to talk about Relic Delta and Relic 10 in terms of any updates on the test program. And Fatal did confirm before we went live here, there's really nothing new to tell. So if you've seen the last couple episodes of the show where Fatal has explained the current state of the numbers, what it means in terms of, Relic Delta 2, 3, 4. Nothing's changed since then, so we're just gonna move on. There's nothing really new to say. The next topic is plans for Forlom, or waiting until Zuckiss. Are you just not going to use that character at all until we have Zuckiss? And even if you do, what are you actually doing? Like, there's calls out to use Aura Singh and Cad Bane, but to what end? Like, probably slap Zan in, but what end? Where does this fit in a seriously oversaturated 5 versus 5 board? What do you guys think about that?
It's a tough investing choice, but if you bring the character up to level 50, you can equip them with 6 extra mods, and that will help you free up some mod space. And then
do you remember the credit cost though to get to level 50, Fatal? I just want to make sure people go in eyes open on that.
I'm too privileged of a player. I don't see credits anymore. It's all just
Fair.
How much could this banana possibly cost? $12?
Oh man, look, and if you want to,
Exactly.
if you want to be a good guildmate, take it to level 85 so you can deploy.
Damn.
What's that?
Damn. Degeneracy. Wow.
Oh man,
Fair. So
you guys are brutal.
So yeah, so no plans either. Yeah, I mean, I put some type of setup on the character. I feel that more is yet to be released about some vision for them as far as the squad goes, because I don't really feel it.
It's okay. I've thought about this a small amount. They are either going to be in the next raid, or this is a minor tee up for the next era, and I think it has to be narrowed down. I think we can already rule out Andor because we know Chimera said that a Dasufu is coming.
Yeah.
So then it's next era is either going to be Acolyte, which I feel is unlikely, but I guess maybe, but I still feel it's unlikely, or I think it could be Survivor, and they're going to do the who's that dark side bounty hunter is like the second big boss that you fight. It's like the Dirge is the tentacle dude that like has
I
multiple
didn't play
like
the
regeneration
second
lives.
Jedi whatever game. I played the first one.
Yeah, it
I will
basically.
say that, yeah, I think you're right. I think it's going to be something. I think that there's a fair chance we get like a hybrid era because I do think that we're getting the sisters next era. I just don't think it's going to be that's the only thing we're getting.
Which sisters? Sorry.
And
Talking about For the Stranger. He's talking about the
yeah,
sisters.
the
for that.
stranger.
Oh,
Light Side, Dark
yeah. OSHA
Yeah.
and the other one.
as light. Yeah, so that way because he already calls out Barris and his team. I think the sisters will be the light side and dark side Ufus, and then you'll have Starkiller.
I see it. I
But
like it.
but I do think that Fatal's right in the sense that we're also going to get something else. And I don't know if we get the sisters next era or the next era. It feels like we might get them after he comes out, which makes it the era after this one. To Fatal's point, so I haven't played this. Sorry.
I don't think this will happen, but I think it could be a Survivor era, and Bode is a Dusufu who has Fracture, which is slightly tied to
True.
Empire flavor.
Okay.
That tease up Dark Side Bounty Hunters, that possibly tease up like Marin as a light side Ufu. I mean, I don't know if she counts as light side now.
Well,
but
and we have Zuckiss, who's actually a Dasufu, right? So there could be some type of.
Zuckiss is a bounty hunter, isn't he?
It says he calls out in the kit. They call out that they have force.
Like, there's a lore
force
justification
ability.
for his
Yes.
species to be an Ufu, and he's dark side, so he's Dasufu.
Right.
And sure, whatever, man. That's where I'm at with that. But maybe there's a spot for him. I don't know.
Dumb. I stand by that. Dumb.
Yeah, some of the people have said that. I don't get why it's dumb. Like, they say that race is force sensitive. What do you got against that? What you don't like people that look like houseflies on top of a mannequin that can wield the force? What's your problem? You don't like compound eyes?
First off, you haven't told everybody what you're going for as Halloween. Second, I would just like to point out that it has nothing to do with the guy's race and being force sensitive. Just, I've never thought of him as being an Ufu. I've never thought of him being force sensitive in my life, and he was in the original trilogy and has been in a lot of books and a fair amount of lore. And not once have I remembered him using the force, and that's all I'm saying.
It's just the wiki, man. That feels more like a wiki call out. It literally is just a nod to the wiki,
it's
not
what his people
not
do.
like
They didn't
this
talk
guy's
about
right.
Him.
Yeah,
right.
All I'm saying is I think it's dumb if he's the dark side Ufu for Khmer. That was my first thought.
If the deliberately intended one, I could see that being kind of a choice. But if it's kind of an interesting option as a flex, I don't hate it.
It's not.
We know that the Sufu is going to have Fracture.
That's what.
Never mind.
It's not. Yeah, it's just like there's nothing about this other than just a nod to saying we did our homework and really looked in the back end, and he's Ufu.
I would like to say
a name. That's like his last name.
Where's the Old Republic tags for like Jedi Consular then?
Hey, you know what? Their method of making good on mistakes of old is to not make them in characters of new.
They sometimes go back.
My apologies.
And sometimes they go back. To be fair to them, they do go back.
All right, so that's all we have there on Forlom and Zuckiss. I'd say we're good to move right in to patron questions, guys. We got a handful of them tonight. Let me read some of them off. First one up from Miasmo, which is, what was the biggest lesson that you learned in 3 versus 3 that you are going to apply in 5 versus 5? And second question, I just had that off. What is your favorite dish to prepare or eat during the holiday season, and why? I'll take my crack at it. I mentioned this at the end of last season, but the fleet meta is different, right? Now our floor is higher, several banners higher. A few months ago, we were wanting to have not less than 70. 70's too low now, man. You're trying to have not under 75, and then it's a question of how many 76, 77 you might be able to pick up on the side. So, as Sasha was saying earlier, there's still a little consideration to be had in fleet because, um, if you see your opponents always saving triple meta, for example, they're always having Leviathan for offense, then I feel like that puts you in a stronger position since you can set home one and Leviathan. He'll probably want to mirror the Leviathan because he's likely want a Profundity, your home one. And that Leviathan can cost a whole bunch of banners. You can be cleaner going the other way. There's a little bit more cat and mouse going on in fleet at this moment, just because of that. And so I don't know. That's kind of what I learned. It surprised me how much higher the floor went on fleet by the time we got to, I don't know, even the second week of the season. As far as my favorite dish for the holidays, I mean, my favorite holiday is still Christmas. I've always been a Christmas boy. My family makes a whole bunch of ridiculously amazing food around that time, but there is something special. My grandfather makes this Sicilian pizza that is traditionally only made around Christmas time, I think. It's called spingiuni, and it is this really doughy, light, bready um, pizza that has a good um, homemade marinara puree, but part of it is going to be pureed anchovy in that sauce. Several layers of Parmesan applied, and baked. It's going to have this nice crust on it. And again, it's savory, but it's light when you bite into it. Something I look forward to every year. Dagger, you want to step up, or who's next? Who wants to take on that question?
Sure. I'm a basic bitch. My family hasn't been a big Christmas family for the last 20-ish years or so, 15-ish years. So, my favorite Thanksgiving food to eat is sweet potatoes. I am a huge sucker for sweet potatoes because I'm just a basic bitch. As far as the fleet thing goes,
Or is like
uh,
what you learned in threes that you're going to apply in fives? That's the spirit of the question.
oh, that executor's ass on offense. I'm just going to keep setting it on defense. You
Mm,
can't profundity both that and home one.
dig that. Fair, actually, fair. Not mad at that. All right, TJ, how about you? What do you think about this question?
I think it's fine. I'm sure for when it comes to fives, less teams to worry about, just making sure we're aligned.
Yeah, but
And if you can
you
pull,
know, if you need me to repeat the question for you,
no, I'm trying to think it out loud. I'm just calling it out.
no,
So
you're
I
good.
think the fleet, you're probably right on the fleet being the biggest factor where it's going to be at. Everything else, I know what I want to risk, and I'll probably try it early. Other than that, it's if I can find the option to possibly set SLK, so be able to pull some heavier defense flexes. That's kind of what I learned. Went safer, but there are risks I want to take, so I might be trying some trickier stuff. So maybe it's not learned. Maybe I didn't learn anything, and I'm going to go in there messing it up. But I want to try it out. Fleet,
Awesome.
you called out great, and then for food, two things. Family history, green beans and bacon has always been my moneymaker. I love that shit.
Mm,
I'll eat that up. That's
mm.
one. And then wife makes a ham that is the only get once a year, and I could eat that shit just nonstop.
All right, Sasha, what do you think about this question? Your biggest lesson that you took from threes that you're going to apply in fives, and then your favorite holiday dish. And why? Might have caught Sasha at an inopportune time. I don't know.
No, I sorry, I know I'm back. I'm back. Yeah, no, I actually think the lesson two of the primary lessons I would have answered are already taken in fleet, and then also thinking about the slacker of a place on D if there are other options for Pirate King
Mm,
counters. But the one I'll throw out there that I really still think is going to be super applicable is like I've mentioned this for a while now, but it's just got more and more apparent last round was like when I look at a board, we've always joked, oh, where's Ezra? And true, that shapes, but it's I'm gonna be looking at a board and going like, where's the Rolocron? Where's the Javacron? Where, like I think those particular crons are really pretty big impact, and I think that'll remain the case on a smaller board for fives. Then in terms of favorite dish, I actually I'll go with like there's like a fruit salad that we've always made in our family that I particularly like, and I know it may not seem as seasonal, but it's one of those things that like just the fact out of like habit or ritual, whatever, you just happen to we've had it a number of times as a family in the holidays and don't tend to do it otherwise, and so that's just that's a favorite and like a neat association with it. And then we often will do turkey at least like one of the holiday meals. Certainly Thanksgiving, but like often like around Christmas or one of a variety of different family meals we have then. And the stuffing, it's a recipe from my mom that I just freaking love that stuffing. It's so good. So
Is
I'm
it
a
a
big turkey and
sausage
stuffing.
stuffing out of curiosity or what?
No, but it's a cornbread stuffing.
Oh, wow. That
And
is
yeah,
unique. I don't think I've had that.
yeah, the cornbread in the stuffing makes a huge difference. Like so
Yeah.
much so that like I don't add like I don't make sure I don't do gravy or other stuff because I hate to detract or distract from the flavoring of the cornbread stuffing.
Okay, wow. Great answer. Beta, what do you got to say? Your biggest lesson from threes that you'll be applying in fives, and then your favorite holiday dish to prepare or eat during the season. Why?
To be honest, 5v5 and me starting the cheeser hunter stuff there had more impact than 3v3 than vice versa, but
Hmm.
there's really anything to reflect back. I guess maybe we were already talking about ships.
Mhm.
Fuck man, dude. Okay, I think when you wade past the novelty, I think this ship's meta might actually just be incredibly fucked in a extremely bad way that will negatively impact our enjoyment of this season. Uh,
Yeah.
if your goal, if you don't want to play Russian roulette, what option do you have?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. As somebody who doesn't like playing Russian roulette, it's like it's basically what you all lined up. Is just like, so am I doing Leviathan Mirror and flipping a coin there in a game where I'm trying to play hyper efficiency? Okay, that so I can hold the three strongest fleets and have shit options, or like have shitty RNG coin flips that might just fuck me over in an efficiency scenario for literally just trying to hold the three strongest fleets. Or option B is post heavier on defense, Russian roulette, and you
Yeah.
just possibly lose a round
Yeah.
solely off of the back of ships RNG.
Mhm. Yep.
That sounds fucking horrible. So my hope is that I can ball the fuck out on ground and more than make up for the sins of, taking a -3 to Leviathan Mirror, whatever the fuck that would look like.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe that just makes up for it that way. But that like the whole point of hyper efficiency is supposed to be getting an advantage over cheesers, not repairing a shitty ass fleet meta. So
So that's where you're not
hopefully
looking to
it's
take your risks. Yeah, that's the entire point of your ground philosophy is you make money there so that you don't have to sweat the ships. So that makes sense.
nah, the whole point of ground is to have more banners than efficiency players. But if ships just completely invalidates all of that work, then holy fuck, that's gonna be annoying.
Yeah, well, if you end up saving triple meta, surely they can't score so much more. So much more. Maybe more, but not so much more if your defense is doing what you're planning on having it do for you.
I have no idea. I don't really plan out ships in that way. I just have like I don't even
I
have
hate
it.
to say it, Dagger's right though. And it's not to cut off Fatal on the point though. You're not saving triple meta because if you're talking about the efficiency of it, you're not saving Executor to do anything because it does one thing well against two teams, I guess. You could do something against Malevolence, and then you can 77 the Executrix if it's on offense. Other than that, Dagger's right. You're not holding it or saving it. So if you're talking about the efficiency point of it, the Executor is not your guy.
Yeah, it's probably good for a 75 at best in a lot of scenarios. Because usually you're bringing even one ship as a reinforcement.
And it doesn't really punch into the fleets that are better than it.
Oh, surely not. Yeah, not
Yeah.
certainly for the kind of
Not-
banners you'd be interested in.
yeah.
All right, Fatal, don't think you escaped the second part of the question. Your favorite holiday meal and why?
I don't know. The only thing I've really thought about lately is I was like, damn, I could actually go for some hot cider. That's not really a meal that requires cooking. That's just a trip to the grocery store. But that's the only thing that's really been on my mind. I was like, it'd be cool to have some, tuck in, get some warm cider, get cozy.
Yeah, I know you don't drink, but yeah, I really enjoy that in the fall with spiced rum in there. Taste pretty good. All right, fair enough.
Oh, really quick.
Yeah, go
Really
ahead.
quick, just to expand on my answer. It's sweet potatoes with marshmallows.
Yeah.
With like melted marshmallows. And it's one of the few things that makes me feel like I'm a kid again. And that's why I said I'm like a basic bitch, is because everything else around the holidays feels so cookie cutter with like the dressing, the stuffing, and it's like all these delicious grown up meals. And it's like, man, give me second helpings of the marshmallow potatoes. You know what I mean? Like, I will feel like I'm 8 years old again.
Yeah, yeah. Capturing that childhood glee is what the holidays are all about, especially if you have kids. All right, next question from Supermart. What is the best split for Pirates in fives and Grand Arena, and also for TW? And also the order for Omicrons. Sorry, the Omicron order for Pirates specifically for TW. So, first of all, the best split for Pirates in fives we kind of covered earlier. If you're really looking to prevent stuff like Seer Malicos, then you'll want to include OG Hondo on the Pirate King Hondo team. Whereas there might have been some value to have Quiggled with Pirate King in 3 versus 3. It's the overall opinion of the room here that Quiggled is better served with Maz, Vane with Pirate King, and leave it at that. But you have some flexibility on whether or not you would prefer to have OG Hondo in with Pirate King, or just Brutus, something like that. And as far as the order for TW Omicrons, let me pull up the faction so we've got it in front of us, guys. I'm not usually the one to answer this, but what do you guys have to say here?
Slap them on Smee, call it a day.
No. Why did I pull up Spectre? All right.
He did answer the question though.
Yeah.
Smees or TW. So
is Smee the only
technically
one for
did.
TW?
No, but that's the best bang for your buck.
Smee is the one that's making pirates do stuff.
Well, who else is TW?
Is Brutus TW or Brutus GC?
All right, so Vane is TB.
I thought he was TB.
Maybe Territory
No,
Wars,
Vane.
Mutineers, Territory Wars. Whenever a dark side pirate leader in the leader slot takes damage, Brutus gains 5% additional penetration stacking for the rest of the battle and retribution for 1 turn, which can't be or prevented. If the ally in the leader slot is PKH, reduce Brutus's cooldowns by 1 whenever Brutus attacks out of turn. Whenever Brutus uses special ability and he has at least 15 stacks of profit, he assists himself, dealing 50% less damage. Whenever another pirate uses a special ability and Brutus has at least 20 stacks of profit, he assists, dealing 50% less. How does that stack up to?
Yeah, just put 3 on Smee. You'll be fine.
Put 3 on Smee. That's the pro tip from Dagger. What says the rest of the room?
The Crons are going to hard carry Hondo. Sorry.
Smees are going to be the number one.
Smee from
it's
from PJ. All right.
It's a conquest unit, man.
Yeah.
And if you look at all the percent based stuff that's happening, that's going on, Smee is already a super strong character. That amplified and you can't kill him.
Mm-hmm.
It's Smee.
Any disagreements here from the crowd? No. All right. I think that answers your question then, Supermark. So the SM33 first, then, and then I guess look at Brutus. Do all 3 of SM33s before you go to Brutus. All right. Banja says, what are the next 3 relics you're applying and why? So, I did mention earlier that because of the double droid, the droid brain packs that allow you to get 20 brains per purchase and you can purchase twice, so that's 40 brains. I took 2 Relic 9s up today. Just long-term characters I've been looking for, Resistance Hero Finn and Zori. Now I only need to take Resistance Hero Poe and Rose up to Relic 9, and then I have that whole faction at Relic 9, which is nice, because then I can actually have them as an option for TB, which is fun for me. I kind of like that. Also, Rose eventually being Relic 9 was something I wanted just for long-term fleet reasons.
Why did you do the vets before you did Resistance Hero Finn?
I didn't take the vets to 9.
Oh, you said the whole faction. In my head, that means that you took.
No, when I
Like
say the
BB-8,
I mean the good team. No. I mean like the good team.
Oh,
Finn,
sorry.
Resistance Bros,
Sorry.
Zori, Rose.
I'm tired.
That's what I
Sorry.
mean. No. Fair
Sorry,
question.
tired.
Fair question. But yeah, I mean, so based on what I just said, it would probably be Rose, Resistance Hero Poe, and then frankly, Zuckiss. All right. That's probably low-hanging fruit, but that's my answer. What do you guys got?
Relic 1, 2, and 3 on Zuckiss.
Wow. That is technically answering the question, and we will allow it with a squint in your direction, sir. Squint.
Well, the other answer is worse. It's whatever the next 3 characters are. 'Cause
Yeah,
the rest
yeah.
of my rosters already are 9,
Fine.
right?
Fine.
Like,
All right, we got Dagger for the record. Who's next? Next
I'll
3
go.
Yeah.
relics.
Yeah.
Go ahead. No, you go,
DJ.
Sasha. No, I'd rather have you. You're more interesting.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I mean, Forlom, and then I'll do Zuckiss as well. Like as soon as they come out, because they have an event that produces Relic material. The biggest gating for me right now, and I know they're going to open the floodgates, obviously with Relic 10 coming, but it's been Droid Brains, so it's getting an event that drops those. I prefer not to miss more than I have to of those. And then I mentioned I was looking at doing like even like OG Han and OG Chewie, despite the fact they're not really relevant on ground anymore, or often. So they can kill the Pirate King Hondo in the right circumstances. But I like them for fleet. So those were the ones I was thinking. Back to you, CJ.
Yeah, mine's actually easy. I'm a lot thriftier than the other guys. I think Sasha and I would probably say the same way. So, I like to keep the ability, because we don't know all of the details for it. I'm trying to keep roughly enough to do 5 R9s like back to back right away.
Wow.
So I did 4 long, because that obviously, like I said, Sasha's point is perfect. I want the droid brains. I bought both the packs, so I'm at 87 right now. So 20 is going to go into Zuckiss to make sure that I can get the event, but the ability to get my ROI back is where it's at. So other than the ones we already talked about, I want 5. So if I need to do a team or something else, I can insta R9 anything I need to.
Makes sense. All right. Fatal?
I mean, I'm not really doing anything right now. I'm just gonna save up for Zuckiss, but I mean the 2 ones I did recently were Trey and Savage.
Oh yeah, and you regretted one or both of those?
It's not really regret so much as it just caused a battle to fail that I will have to remod around.
I see.
It R9 on both of them caused Savage to get handcuffs instead of Treya, which is fucking bad, it turns out. Catastrophically so.
Solid. Agree. Okay. All right. That covers everybody. Next question is, what is the best way to mod a dagger so that he's docile and agreeable? It seems that you've been given the cheat code here in this very show. Sweet potato pie with the little marshmallows. That's it,
incredibly
man.
simple. No, it's incredibly simple. Apply Orphis to Phallus.
Fantastic. All right. Well, there you go, Super Mario. You asked and answered. All right. Next up, Ploon asked how to set up Maz when Quiggle goes to Pirate King Hondo. We've just answered this here above. There might have been some thought about doing that, but it seems that on balance, we think it's going to be best for Quiggle just to stay with Maz, keep Vayne with Pirate King, but stick to the script there for the time being. Let's see here. Calidus says, any strategies for partial retirees, or should I just ask the residential retiree, then returnee shake? Trolling another patron. No strategies for partial retirees because I'm still both feet in. That's not me. That might be more of a dagger speed question because he's got a foot in for Grand Arena, a toe in for everything else, and yeah, I don't know. What do you think there, Dagger?
Find things you enjoy about the game and apply like 75% of your Swugga time to those, and then apply the minimum amount of time to the things that allow you to do that.
Mhm.
If that requires you giving up keys so a guildmate can do your TW, I don't know what guild you're in, but if you're in a TW focused guild, give keys to somebody who can do your TW fights if you are so inclined, either busy or don't want to do it. Thank you, Spock. Or, if you're in a casual guild, just don't join. When it comes to TB, do the minimum that your guild asks. And if they tell you to do more, tell them that when they send you platoons via Hotbot, you will do more. Yeah, that's basically what it is. You have the people around you make your life easier, and if they won't, go to a guild that will. I know a few people that took their giant ass accounts to a very small guild that was happy to just have them there to put their whole roster on the front wall in TW and deploy in TB.
Fair. I know none of the rest of us are really semi-retired or anything in between, but any other advice you guys want to throw out to Calidus? What to do for the partial retirees?
Just do anything you can to make sure you maintain your account. If you can get in your fleet, get in your fleet to get your crystals, get your ROI.
Mhm.
And then other than that, it is what brings you joy to the game. No more, no less. Try to make sure you can hit your raid so that's all you need to get to. That's it.
The fun is what you make of it. This meta felt shitty until I started putting effort in and like learning how to beat Jesus, and now this meta is like extremely fun.
I gotta say, one thing that stays evergreen for me is the scouting. Like you guys are saying the same thing, so I'm answering it in the same way, but in my own way. Like find what you love and in this game and stick with it. Like scouting in Grand Arena is evergreen. It will never not be interesting for me. It will never not be relevant in Grand Arena. And there are metas that I prefer more and less, more or less, but yeah, the way that I like playing Grand Arena kind of immunizes me from the ebb and flow of metas. All right, that was the last of the patron questions. Thank all of you guys for submitting those. Got them all in. Stuff.
Also, I just want to throw this out there. One of the things you'll also find in common with, and I won't speak for everyone on this panel, but a lot of the people who are 2 feet into this game have a lot of free time to apply to this game.
Maybe.
So take that with a grain of salt. When Tass said he loves the scout, but he has a lifestyle that allows him to. I'm not saying he does spend a ton of time scouting, but he has the ability to do so. And one of the reasons why I have said historically that this podcast is the reason why I still love this game. I still play this game as much as I do. I'd still play the game if I didn't do this podcast, just in a lesser capacity. But they keep me engaged in GAC. And if you go look at my history, you'll see that there are just weeks that I just don't play because I don't have time. So my issue with this game is time, not love of the game, so to speak. So I definitely understand because I talked with Calidus about this. He still likes the game. The problem he's running into is the same one I do, which is the time is getting in the way for him to do all the things he's required to do,
Oh,
especially
sure.
the week of Conquest and TB, right? Like, yeah.
Well, I was
So
actually just about to circle us back around to takeaways and final thoughts, Dagger. So while
oh,
we've got you on the horn, why don't you go first? What's on your mind as you're closing out this off week? getting ready for fives. Anything you want to leave with the people? Last words on this one.
Well, I got home while I was doing this, and I found out that the people who put our new roof in also fucked up our cable. So we have no internet until Sunday when they come and repair it.
Okay.
So my preparation for GAC will not exist. So yeah, as far as that final takeaway goes, like there just won't be any remodding or Datacron building for week one. Outside of that, I really, I know Fatal already kind of mentioned it, and I've been trying to stay positive, but Fleet is rancid right now, like absolutely fucking rancid, and there's not a clear fix to it because you can do everything right and still be minus 10 banners on Fleet, which could be enough to lose. It's not really within your control. Fleet is right now outside your control when it comes to your banners.
Mhm.
Like you really just don't have the ability to control Fleet. And with that being the case, it means that you have to either press yourself on the ground to try to have enough of a lead to where that doesn't bother you, which can lead yourself to getting a drop, which means you probably lose on the spot. And it's just one of those things where because Fleet is so rancid, it's going to affect your ground game. And I have to figure out a way to make that work, which I won't for week one. So for the aforementioned reasons. So I'm on my speaker on my phone in my office right now. That's fun. But yeah, I'm trying to stay optimistic and I'm trying to stay positive because I do believe that ground is going to be interesting. I don't think it'll be good in the sense that like, oh, there'll be fun matchups and there'll be a ton of meta changes. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Like we already have a good idea of how everything's going to play out already. But I do think that there will be some interesting fights based on I know we mentioned on the live plotting and scheming that you might see 4 Sith teams down. And you have to pick where you're applying your Maz Kanata, and I think that there'll be some interesting things like that going on where people are trying to bait you, and they might put C and they might put like Malgus and Trey up front, and then no Lord Vader or C in the back,
Mhm.
just to try to get you to save your Maz for nothing. So that's what I mean. I think that there could be some really
Yeah.
interesting games on the ground. So I look forward to that, and I'm at least trying to stay positive about that. But yeah, I hope everyone else is also looking forward to that. Again, not till at least Monday, but twitch.tv / daggermage7. I will be trying to stream all of my 5v5s. I still need to stream for 16 more hours to get paid basically. So I will definitely be looking to do some streaming next week once I get internet back.
Dig that. All right. Well, there you have it. Daggermage7, twitch.tv. Check him out. You got the YouTube working yet or what?
It's hit or miss working with
Yeah, okay.
Womprat. There's a lot of
Okay.
technical difficulties,
All right.
but
We'll
that's
plug for
also
that one
Daggermage
later.
7. No, but it's also Daggermage 7. I did change it to have the same icon and the same name as the Twitch.
There you
So it
go.
is the same on both.
All right. Appreciate that. Yeah. Check out Dagger here in the off week. All right. TJ, how about you? Your takeaways and final thoughts. What do you have for the people?
Big one for me, like I said, is my big focus. I want to do is honestly do I get to top of the Pirate King? That's kind of what I'm looking forward to. And then the question we've asked here, it basically is, how does Maz work this season? What's she gonna be? So those are what I'm walking into. I'm not gonna address Fleet because fuck Fleet. It is what it is. So I'm just excited, man. I'm excited to see if the king topples.
Okay. Appreciate that. Sasha Aisha, what do you have for the folks at home? He said to the abyss.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Welcome back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry about that.
No worries.
Yeah, I was going to sort of touch back on a little bit of a theme we were on before about everything from like semi-retirement to just sort of seeking joy out of the game. And I'll say, like, just share one thing that has worked for me after like, a period where I got, I don't know, kind of burned out, but also like kind of focused elsewhere in the game is like, the cadence of the game I try right now to really use to my advantage. Like I always mention it that when it's a down GAC week, I am like pretty much out of the game for the most part. And that's just, I know that doesn't work for everybody, but that's just one kind of like sustainability tactic that's been great for me. And it does come with there's like pros and cons. And one of the pros obviously is it I think reduces my burnout. And we all play this game pretty darn deeply, or intensely may not be the right description, but like we put something into it for sure. And that just tends to be my personal MO with stuff that I pursue. So for me, I find it's just super healthy to be able to kind of pull out at points as well. And so like the flip side of that, and I feel that going into every new season, is I feel like in like 4 or 5 days of not being engaged in it and just sort of focusing on other stuff in real life exclusively, like that it's amazing how much rust builds, or like how much I have to feel like I'm like relearning little things, particularly the rewiring of 3s to 5s. So as I look at going into 5s, I'd say one of the things that like I feel almost like I'm starting from scratch a little bit again, but like I really want to try and find a way to get a little more creative in that top bracket where we're there is a continued evolution towards efficiency, to make the most out of the first week challenge we all have of not having everything down to a science, and just try and maximize holds with I don't know, a few things that are going to be completely random, and I don't even know what they are yet. But that's just that's my hope and my thought, and that's something that, even though it's just an abstract and a thought now, it's like the kind of thing that actually creates some energy and enthusiasm for me to lean back in at the end of a down week. So that's just where I'm coming from.
All right, no, I really appreciate that. Thanks. And of course, last but never least, Fatal. What do you have to say to the good people? Your final thoughts.
Yeah, looking to have fun this season. Yeah, I really just need to try to figure out a path through ships. It feels a little bit whack to like finally see light at the end of the tunnel for like, okay, here's the solution to unfuck ground and possibly flip the meta. And then all of a sudden, ships is like, guess what, motherfucker? I don't know. I guess worst case scenario, I just become a degenerate gambler myself, and that sounds and feels god awful. But if that's what everyone else is doing, then I don't know. I'll have to research ships some more, I guess. But yeah, no, I think it'll be a fun season overall, even if I don't know. I really hope that I don't end up coming in a week and be like, yeah, 2-1. I just low rolled RNG and ships, and that that would not be a ideal experience.
Yeah, I can stay from here for it myself. Are you going to be active at all here, stream wise, during the off week, the rest of the off week? And if so, where can the good people find you?
I was planning to stream, but all my time went into learning how to do this new video making stuff.
Okay.
And the next couple of days, now that I have the process down, I might look to stream again. But yeah, we'll see. Just kind of tackling through projects.
Okay. Well, and if you are live, where are you going to be?
YouTube.com/the playbook. 4 guys on how to auto the Order 66 raid are live now, as well as streaming there, and twitch.tv/the playbook, or twitch.tv/playbook TV.
It is. All right. And, appreciate all you guys. Thank you, 4 of you, for joining me for the show. And, for my own part, my takeaway is just to make sure that I've got enough coverage for Datacrons. These mods are generally in a good spot on my characters. I feel pretty good, like squad wise going in. So just shoring that up. And then, yeah, the meta, as far as where you're going to get gains against your opponent, at least for me, is from offering them choices based on their preferences on the bottom wall. Like, it's very tough to set something that is just overwhelmingly mighty. Like, oh yeah, you're going to use X counter, preferred counter versus my Y team. Well, my Y team's big enough to stand up to that. That's very rarely happening at this end of the line. And so, yeah, it's all about choice teams forcing your opponent to say, I can't use anything from the very top of what I've reserved because those are assigned for other big bad teams that I don't currently see. So yeah, that's where you can get some people. That's what I'll be looking forward to myself, week 1. As far as any other streams I do, that might be like another Conquest TB and chill, another coffee and chill, something like that later this week. But regardless, that's going to be at twitch.tv/Tassenix. I also simulcast live from my YouTube channel, Tassenix Gaming, where if you haven't been there before, check it out because we do have a whole bunch of Slug-related content over there you might be interested in. Stuff like the GAC Omicron tier list, the How to Mod Guide series, building up your mod collection, the mod guides on individual characters and factions that you guys have asked. And of course, it's a rebroadcasting point for this very podcast, Plotting and Scheming, which is native to Spotify. But wherever you catch an episode, check the description. There is a link that you can use to plug into your preferred podcast program and follow us that way. Anything you see over there on my YouTube that you enjoyed, please do hit like, hit subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. Really appreciate the support. That is the best way to support the channel, following me on Twitch, subscribing on YouTube. That's really just the best stuff. Thank you guys so much. And of course, if you really like what I'm doing and you want to go above and beyond to support the stream, there are a few ways to do that. I do have a Cash App that is $Tassenix. I have a PayPal, which is tassenix@gmail.com. And if you want to get some enhanced Grand Arena scouting power for yourself, early access to my content, and a couple other benefits besides, you may be interested in checking out my Patreon, patreon.com/Tassenix. For any upwardly mobile Grand Arena player, there is something there of interest for you. At $5 a month, you enter the Task House at VIP access level, where you get early access to the Plotting and Scheming show that is coming out to our general audience 8 a.m. on Fridays, but patrons get it as early as Monday night within hours of us recording, giving you that early edge going into the first round of the week. Time to time, I may also make, patron exclusive videos. You'll have it at least a month ahead of the general public. And of course, dedicated text and voice chat on Discord, where I'm usually lurking. So, pop on in, say hi. Thank you so much to Andrew, Banja, Boba Iza, Deadpool Kyle 28, JJ's Productions Twitch, Jobin4527, Miasmal, Musras, Rays Malvis, Sam Bimes, Sheepdog47, Squed, Stark Strategy Gamer, Sweens14, and White Wolf. Moving on up to the $10 a month tier is VIP Access Plus, where you get a bundled Patreon access to me and to your choice of either OmegaBot or Hot Utils Patreon. OmegaBot's that tool that I highlight at the start of all of my Grand Arena streams, the one with the graphs showing you, pretty easily, in a pretty easily digested way, your opponent's offensive and defensive tendencies. Anybody can use that tool for free to scout their opponent's last week of Grand Arena history, but only patrons can build out a report with any number of weeks. You have a downloadable HTML version of that report that you can click with links going right back into swugga.gg or Insight, just, with data pre-sorted and just helping you further minimize your scout time. Alternatively, you might spring for the Hot Utils Patreon, aka Chili subscription, which is the #1 tool for your mass mod management and loadout creation. Nothing else lets you switch so easily between your Grand Arena, TB, TW, and Raid mods. You can use it like TJ and Fatal do with the powerful automation feature to comprehensively remod your roster. You can slice through hundreds of mods in seconds, help out your guild in TW, whole bunch of good stuff in there. Regardless, no wrong way to go at VIP Access Plus. Thank you so much to Aussie Mike, Darth Saleya, Esh Sotnikam, JJ's Dad, Now For Me, Mr. Tony, Shake23501, Single Malt Jedi, Snack Attack, Striker, Supermard, Trouble Fingers, and Zoltre. At VIP Access Premium, that's $15 a month for the Double Bot bundle. So Patreon access for me, OmegaBot, and Hot Utils all under one subscription. Going out and buying those bots anywhere else costs the same as this bundle, which is why so many of my patrons say it's one of the best values in all of Swugga. Thank you so much to Argots, Arj, Bjorn, Big Ninja, Alidus Invictus, Depressed Wampa, Duckstab, Darthlink, General Milan, Ibenek, Johnny B. Ottawa, Hev, Mini GK, Pills, Bloon, Twig, Rawling, Saldag, Sir Boss, Sophis, Sprizzle, The Lost Swamp Rat, Trevor Boy Gaming, and Wilco. At the top of the list, in Jester's Club Elite, the one, the only Nomad's Reaper, a madman who pops into stream from time to time and goes ham, just dropping hundreds of subs, thousands of biddies, incredibly generous support that he has just come in and done many, many times over, crushing hype train records by himself, the whole works. Next is Pills, who's recently joined Jester's Club Elite because he's popped into streams recently, especially while I'm actually getting ready to wind down. And just surprisingly, just kind of front loads hype trains here. Starting off with, 5 subs donated, 10 subs donated, and then he gets some momentum going. And now we're up over 100 all of a sudden. So incredible support. Really appreciate you. Both of you guys are just top tier. Really, thanks for the support. It means a lot, guys. Special thanks first up to The Lost Swamp Rat, one of my patrons, who is, a big help behind the scenes. Not only just for me getting my stream deck optimized and set up some time ago, but he's also helping out Dagger, getting him up and running here, content creating, not just for Swugga, but for whatever else. And he also helps out some other streamers. So not just on my behalf, but theirs. Thanks, Swamp. To Mrs. T, my wife, thank you for all you do in the background, whether that's bringing me something to drink, something to eat while I'm streaming, or just keeping our daughter from destroying the house while I'm trying to become the very best like no one ever was at a phone game. And of course, to my co-hosts here on Plotting and Scheming, Dagger, TJ, Sasha Aisha, and Fatal. Gentlemen, my heartfelt thanks to you again for another great episode. Despite the pressures of work and family, we got here, together here at late o'clock to record our show, and it's all for the love of the game. I learn from you guys every week. Hopefully the feeling is occasionally mutual, but it's not about us. It is about the community that is formed around the show. Very rarely does a day go by that I don't get some type of comment, DM saying, hey, thanks guys, something that you or, Fatal or Dagger or TJ or Sasha said on the show really gave me a great idea and I won my match because of it. Thank you so much. It never does a day go by where I don't get something like that. So we're making a difference out there, guys. We're helping people with actionable intelligence for the Grand Arena game, and I wouldn't change a thing. Thank you guys so much. All right, that brings us back around to the end. Looking forward to a new season, and yeah, we'll see you out there live on the streams. Be in touch on Discord if you want until you see me next, and until then, it's been real. It's been awesome. Been real awesome. Take care.